looks like we're live, everybody. And it's Lolly Martin and myself, Wendy Holloway. And we're talking about bitter in Italian cuisine. And just by way of a little bit of background, when the founder of the artichoke-based liqueur Cynar, and if you look at the bottle, I mean, you're familiar with that, Lolly. It's got that picture of an
Do you have
artichoke on
it?
it. And you
You have
think,
it with you, Wendy? I tried to buy some yesterday
yeah,
because I normally don't have the bottle at home because I will just go out to the bar. And
right.
and they said that it's actually not easy to find in the shops.
Oh,
Did you?
I can't say that I've ever tried. I would normally get it. Now they make like lots of different cocktails with it and stuff. But regardless, so I did a Substack post back in March.
Yeah.
And entitled Italy's Bitter Obsession.
I love
And
that. I
so,
love that post.
yeah.
So true.
And
It's my
but the
obsession.
reason I was inspired was that the creator of this artichoke-based liqueur, Cynar, died right around then at 103 years old. So I
I
guess
have
it's a,
to get a bottle for my house now.
yeah. But
We know nothing else except that he invented and drank Cynar.
yeah,
That's what we
exactly.
need to
Well,
know.
yeah, well, that was his thing. His name is Rino Dondi Pinton, and but the bottom line is that this whole bitter flavor profile is really entrenched in Italian cultural heritage. And when we think of the monasteries and the monks, and they're picking herbs and roots and everything and making these secret concoctions, which you can usually, yeah, there you go, which you can usually buy in some of these different places. And I, it's a very common thing to make them at home. I do, and
Yeah.
I have this one I pulled out of the freezer.
Oh,
I've got to
Wendy.
get the so I don't know if you can see that it's actually
Green. Is it green?
it's bright green.
Is that from walnuts?
No,
No.
this one, I make that one too, which is nocino. This
Nocino.
is made from arugula.
No, Wendy, please send me that recipe. That is
Yeah.
gorgeous.
It's a typical thing from oh gosh, the island Ischia.
Just
It's
to
a
compare,
typical
look, it's exactly the color of arugula. It's gorgeous.
yeah.
And what does it taste like?
Um, it tastes bitter
Yeah.
and sweet, and it tastes like what it is. Now, the thing with these, you keep them in the freezer because
Yeah.
Do you make them, Lolly?
I
These
did
liqueurs?
nocino and limoncello, and I've made like limoncello, but I have never seen nor made that, and I am so inspired.
Well, I make a lot of them. So the alcohol we use, which this is available on grocery store shelves because every self-respecting Italian makes liqueurs. You could send your 6-year-old into the grocery store and say,
Can you?
I mean, it's like, not that I have, but it's 95% alcohol. Ergo, it does not freeze. So then when you put, just for anyone trying to, who wants to make it, I mean, that jar I just showed you,
Yeah.
it's so bright green. We just shoved so much arugula in it. You pour this on it, and then it sits for like a month in a closet. And then when you bring it out and you pull out the arugula, it looks like albino arugula because it has completely zapped out
the chlorophyll.
the color. Yeah. And that's what happens with, so I make it with bay leaves and all kinds of greens. And with the bay leaves, again, it's that rich, um, beautiful green,
Yeah,
and it's sweet because then the last step is you add the sugar
right.
syrup to it.
You're posting this recipe after the call, right?
Uh, uh,
'Cause I'm going to make this.
oh,
I have,
okay.
as always, I one of the greens that we can get year round here in the north of Italy is arugula because they grow it in the greenhouses, and so I always have that on hand.
Yeah,
So I'm ready. I'm
yeah.
ready to make your what is it called? Rucolocino? What's it called?
Um, I forget what they call it on Iskin. I'll have to like drag out because I don't I haven't even created that as but anyhow, I'll get that for you.
Okay. Oh,
So
love it.
just a funny little fact that okay, I've lived here over 40 years.
Yes.
I am originally from
More than
a
double my time.
yeah,
I've been here only 15, which I feels like a long time in a good way, but
it is.
40, I hope I'll be here that long too.
Yeah, you will, you will.
It's my
Um,
plan.
so my mother died when I was 11.
Oh, and
I was living in Pittsburgh, this little town called Oakmont outside of Pittsburgh.
okay.
So then my oldest sister had gone to college. This is really
Mhm.
deviating, but still, I had a
I'm
little sister.
fascinated.
And
Which
then I had this other sister, 6 years older than I am, who
yeah.
had this Italian American friend, Susie Pernice. And,
Okay.
so she organized so that we would have somewhere to go at lunch, that every Wednesday we would go to the Pernice's house, the Pernice, and we went in there. I loved it, but they had all this Italian music playing. They were making wine in the basement, and the weirdest thing was they were, like, picking weeds and cooking with weeds, arugula and all these wonderful greens.
Was it
And it's
growing in the yard? Did they have
yeah,
rucola growing in the yard?
yeah, 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 yeah,
Love it.
yeah, and
Dandelion
just
greens.
other, dandelion greens, all this kind of stuff, but for a kind of a not Italian heritage person at all, and we would always, like, mow our lawn, so there were no weeds, that they were gathering them up and cooking with them. It was almost witchcraft.
I I can imagine because you could not have picked weeds on my lawn growing up in upstate New York or the suburbs of Detroit because they would have been covered in pesticides.
Oh, well, this is true too.
No, I mean, so it's a totally different concept of a lawn here. For
Yeah,
example, the lawn, it's not monoculture, first of all, and it's not covered in pesticides. So
exactly.
you
Well,
can harvest and forage for
yeah,
dandelion greens and well, we don't have rucola growing in our yard here, but I have harvested dandelion greens many times, and also I'm having a complete blank. Wait, it's the really it gets really prickery. Help me. I'm having a day. When
yeah.
it's you can't eat it when it's mature, you have to eat it when it's baby. Somebody help me out on the call. The word I'm
Okay,
getting
yeah, someone put it in the messages because
this
I'm not
thistle
thinking of
in
it either.
English or no, not thistle.
Oh, yeah, 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 it could be like a kind of a thistle. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh
I
my
think.
God.
But,
This is not my day. It's gonna come to me. It's gonna come to me. Anyway, we would harvest it little baby leaves and then in the spring and then put it in risotto and it's got a really gentle flavor slight
yeah,
before it turns bitter later. But anyway, I
well,
think we deviated. Wendy, help
yeah,
me.
but, one thing that does grow in the Northeast that I've had no trouble with at all, no luck with at all in Rome is rhubarb, and
Oh,
my mother was just, uh,
a rhubarb
Sub-zero
fan.
with
My mom
cooking and
too.
yeah, I mean, she would, like, serve her guests, TV dinners scraped onto a plate, so, I mean, we're talking, like, really bad food person, But
Oh.
so we had all this
Wait, I
rhubarb.
can't. No, that's not what I meant about my mom. I meant my mom was a rhubarb fiend, and
Oh, she
she
was.
had
Yeah.
an entire wall of our house was growing rhubarb next to it. I guess to it liked the warm near the walls.
Well,
Anyway, so
it grows wild and it
no,
grows
Giacomo, not
well.
oggi più oggi Coria. It's the one, oh, you guys, it's the one that grows in the spring. It goes really tall, like up to your waist even. And it will, if you touch it, it gives you a rash.
Oh, I know what you mean. A stinging nettle.
Stinging nettle in English. And then what is the Italian word? I know, I
And
see Giacomo's on the call. I know he's going to help me because I'm having a
um,
mind blank right now.
yeah, because you really do have to pick that with gloves, and then it makes wonderful, like mixed
Risotto.
with ricotta
Ooh,
to
yes.
make a ravioli filling. I've done it with that a lot, and as soon as it's wilted, the stingingness goes away.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking
When
of it
it's
either.
small.
Yeah,
So it
someone,
will, the name
someone,
hopefully will come to me or someone
yeah.
else who's watching
But
before the end of the call.
on look at this bottle. How beautiful this is.
Oh, that's stunning. Now that's one that you bought or that you made?
This is one that I bought, and it's called Amaro
Ortiche. Grazie Giacomo. Grazie mille.
Ortigia. Yeah,
Io
yeah,
adesso posso dormire.
yeah.
Now I can sleep tonight.
It's called Amaro Santoni. And again, I picked this up right now because it's actually made with rhubarb. And it's made near Tuscany, near
Okay.
Florence. So look at the shape of the bottle with these. It's made to look like the Duomo of Florence. It's
Stunning.
beautiful. And these are all the different herbs and
Herbs.
roots that go into it. It says rhubarb root,
Nettle.
iris flower,
Thank you.
olive leaf, um, all these
And
different
often,
things.
and usually, I mean, it's somewhat secret, right? Always the exact
Always.
quantity of ingredients. But I think something else to point out is that Amaro, it's not just for the joy of drinking something bitter. I mean, it's also called a digestivo or a digestive, and it
Yes.
truly does help with digestion. And that was one of the things that really hit me when I first started dating my now ex-husband and coming to northern Italy. Is we would go out and all the Italians would order a black coffee, black espresso after dinner, and then they would have an amaro, a bitter digestive. Like here in the north, we often have Braulio, which is from the Stelvio in the Alps. This is so, so classic after a meal. And in the north, we have a lot of like polenta and cheese and like probably for me, one of the most like iconic Northern Italian dishes from the mountains would be polenta uncha, which is this polenta that arrives to the table steaming with a lake of butter on top and mixed with cheese. And I was amazed at how if you drink an amaro like this braulio after dinner, it really does help with digestion. And I
Eh,
stand
Yeah.
by this today that I think Italians are food geniuses in the order in which they eat their meals
Yeah.
the the importance that they place on digestion. Truly.
They do. I mean, everything like, my husband is so Italian, he is Italian. So if he, doesn't feel well, he'll put like a cushion on his stomach. They always wanna have their stomach covered for
Me too. Yeah.
digestion.
Well, I mean,
But,
you probably do the same thing now, right? Do you? I do.
um,
I do that now.
well, sometimes I'll say to him, "Don't say these things to me. I'm gonna start thinking in this, like, crazy Italian way, like, don't say it, don't
I
say
don't think
it."
it's crazy anymore.
I
I
know, I
drank the
know.
Kool-Aid. I mean, and look at you wearing this beautiful scarf around your neck. I have to say, like, I'm wearing a scarf outside until it's maybe like over 21 degrees Celsius.
I love scarves. I always have a
No,
scarf
but I really I like that comfort of it being around my neck. And I'm not
Yeah,
completely saying that I 100% believe in the colpa d'aria, the hit of air, but I really do think that having a little, I'm just going to say protection around the neck is a good thing
yeah.
for
No,
keeping
I
the bu
like it. It's kind of a cuddly
Wendy's
feel,
getting a little uncomfortable. She's
but,
like, "Oh
um
god."
but sometimes if I'm on, like, a public transportation, Italians, for the fear of getting, like, a well, colpa d'aria, we should say, translated is like a current or a draft, and
Right,
I
or it
say
could even be air conditioning.
yeah, exactly, and but
Yeah.
I say to the people on the train or whatever, "People, we need fresh air, or we really are gonna all get sick. Come on."
Yeah, there's a balance. I agree with you.
There's
I
a
agree with you. There's a balance, but something that I like is, even though we live in the North, so air conditioning here has
yeah,
never really been a tradition, and the walls are made very thick to keep it,
yeah.
warm in the winter and cool in the summer. But even though people do often now I'd say maybe 50% of the people have some kind of an air conditioner in their house. I don't know. Don't anybody quote me on that statistic, but it feels like maybe 50%. A lot of people won't turn it on
Yes.
because because they there's a belief that it's these balzi or these bounces of temperature are not good for your sinuses, they're not good for your body, and it really makes sense. And my otorino, my sinus doctor, he said exactly that to me. He said, the worst thing you could ever do would be to go into like this very cold air conditioning like they have in the United States and then come out into like um, you know, let's use Fahrenheit now, 80, 90, 100-degree temperatures. Can you just imagine what that's doing to your tissues?
Well,
So
I
there's
mean,
a
I
lot of
didn't
it's an
yeah.
old wives' tale, but and a cultural tradition, but it does have scientific backing.
That's true. Also, I would say that the air conditioning in the United States is so cold,
I
so cold. So
yeah.
I don't use, and we are deviating here. I don't use ice in my
Oh god, we have
drinks
to go back to
anymore.
bitter. I completely
Yeah,
forgot.
okay.
No, I think we've
So yeah,
that's
that's
a
true.
disorder.
That's true.
Braulio. Okay.
So,
I
so
have
you
so many
you
things to show and tell whenever you're ready, and I'll do some
but,
face.
in addition to aiding digestion, because there's no doubt about that, I've had the same experience of,
Yeah.
you have that little drink, but, all these bitter herbs and vegetables and everything are associated historically for centuries, if not a thousand years, with detoxifying properties back,
Yeah.
in medicinal properties back when we didn't have pharmaceuticals yet. That's the way Italians took care of themselves, and it goes on to this day, and, it's another cultural thing in restaurants that you mentioned is, lots of restaurants, they make their own that they're so proud of.
And rightfully
So,
so. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And not all well, alright, I'm gonna try not to deviate. Not also a lot of grappa, flavored grappa.
yes, I like grappa.
I'm pouring my favorite Amaro Italian soft drink right now for anybody who's watching and saw the teaser. This is also my son, who is now 14, born and raised in Italy. This is his very favorite soft drink, and it's bitter. Um, and it's called I don't know if you can see
Chinotto,
you can see the chinotto fruit, which is a kind of agrumo
yeah,
or a citrus fruit.
yeah,
And so this has I mean, it's sweet from the sugar that's added, but and you can see the color is like this caramely kind of color.
yeah,
And
and he
then
loves that.
he loves it. It is really bitter.
It is very bitter.
It's yeah, shockingly bitter. And I think it's an acquired taste, especially for an American, because I think I don't think this is controversial. I think American cuisine leans towards the sweet.
Absolutely. I mean, if I had to say one, flavor profile per culture, I
Yeah.
would probably say sweet for America, spicy, hot for, Mexico, and most definitely, I think the bitter flavor profile is really what characterizes Italian,
Yeah.
cuisine and beverages.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And it's really special. And especially in aperitivo, in like the Italian version of I hate to compare it to happy hour, but it occurs
like
around that time.
the
Oh God.
Cincinino or Crodino,
Crodino, exactly.
these little bottles that you get,
Here I have
and
the blonde Crodino, and they're all bitter. If anyone's had an Aperol Spritz, which you probably all have now because it's taken over the world.
yeah,
um,
but I make it with Campari, another bitter, um, flavor profile, huh?
oh,
Campari is great.
so bitter. Honestly, some of them, here's the Crodino Blonde. These are all bitter aperitivo drinks.
Yeah, yeah,
This
this is the Crodino,
who doesn't love the
not
Campari
blonde.
bottles? They're
Yeah,
so iconic. I got the little box today, I don't, or yesterday. Um, Made in Milano, starting in 1932. These are actually a little too bitter for me. Do you find anything that's too bitter? Look at the original drawing for the bottles on the back, if you can see it
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The original napkin sketch. Um, but this Campari is leaning on a little bit too bitter for me. I kind of, I'm kind of, I'm more of a bitter vegetable girl. I mean, I love a kind of a lighter, like maybe this San Pellegrino cocktail. This is not alcoholic with spicy notes. It says at the
Yeah, none of these are alcoholic. Yeah,
gradevolmente amaro, like pleasingly bitter.
yeah.
But I don't know. For me, Campari is a little bit too much, and that's when I turn back to my vegetables.
See, I love the so if I order myself a spritz, I
Yeah.
say, a Campari spritz, heavy on the Campari, light on everything else. I like that.
Oh, you like that. Now, I have a question for you before we go on to vegetables. Have you had chinar, which is the bitter artichoke-based alcohol with spritzed with quinotto?
Not with, Kinotto, but there are lots of, let's say, cocktail variations using Cynar, and they're just wonderful,
It's
actually.
my new favorite. It's my new favorite. And I'm sad
Yeah,
because I don't have any chinar with me right now. I just have my quinotto, but that's okay. It's
yeah.
a Sunday
I
night
have
and
to
I have to
yeah,
go to work
yeah,
tomorrow.
exactly.
Sadly.
So
Should we so we talked about the digestive properties of Amaro, the detoxifying properties, which again lends to my theory that Italians are food geniuses. And
and the medicinal, because they really do consider it to be medicinal and will make up the bitter concoction based on what they deem to be your ailment,
yeah,
let's say.
the other interesting thing is that everything that is toxic to eat is bitter, but not everything bitter is toxic. So
Yeah,
some people theorize that other cultures didn't adopt bitter foods in part because they had experience of the bitterness being toxic.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it does, moving on, to the food side, it's the bitter is kind of a complementary, um,
Foods.
flavor enhancer as well. And, okay, Lolly, you're the one with the, show and tell on the veggie front.
I have found the first cime di rapa of the season. I couldn't believe it. When we decided to do the show, I was like, "Oh, what's going to be in the market?" I mean, of course, like as I mentioned, you can always get rucola, arugula, because become a greenhouse crop. But I found chimichurapa, which is my favorite bitter green,
Mine too.
which typically grows in the South, and it's known for being used in the famous pasta dish, my favorite pasta, orecchiette with chimichurapa. So these are turnip greens, and you can see maybe, okay, they're not like the most beautiful chimichurapa I've ever seen, but you see they have like a little flower, which I think is,
Yeah,
it shouldn't actually be yellowing, but I might have left it out too long today. But in
right.
any case, that's, I think, the best part, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you'll
Yeah.
simmer them with garlic and olive oil and anchovies, and if you like pepperoncino, and it gives this, it's a really, I think it's a light vegetable bitterness, but it's so pleasing with the umami of the anchovies. And then if you have people who will let you add spice, which I don't in my house, so sadly,
Oh,
but it's just,
you don't like the pepperoncino so much?
oh, I love it. I love it. I think it makes the dish, but my boyfriend and my son are just not spicy people. So,
Yeah.
but that
Yeah.
is, I would say for me, that's my very, very top bitter green. And then we're coming into the season of all of the bitter chicorias. And this right now, I mean, in the Como market, we will have, I mean, maybe 10 different kinds in the winter at least. But right now, this was the first of what I could find, and it is gorgeous. It's like a flower. Look at this. It's absolutely stunning. It's
So it's
variegated.
it's very pale and almost yellowish
It is, and the leaves are paper
with the
thin
red flecks.
with
Yeah.
the red flecks, and it's really delicious for a salad, like to eat raw, which you can't do with. I would say I wouldn't do for all chicorias. And then, of course, very, very famously would be radicchio, which is, this is the only radicchio I can get right now. Kind of, um, can get these year round. I was talking to my fruttivendolo and he said you can, but of
Yeah.
course later we'll have the more traditional ones, which are even more bitter. And if you slice them thinly, you can saute them and make a really delicious and kind of purpley radicchio risotto.
Yeah, they're great in risotto, and I also have, a recipe that I made of, uh, the that
Christine's favorite
vegetable
radicchio risotto.
with,
Yeah, it's
but
one.
ravioli with, chestnut cream, sizzled pork jowl, and fried sage, and that
Oh, that is gorgeous.
yeah, it is. It's a nice, the chestnut cream kind of softens it all out, but it's really lovely, and they're great ravioli with the vegetable as the filling with ricotta.
That
They're
sounds absolutely stunning.
yeah, they're very
I've
tasty,
never
and
had
they're beautiful also. Yeah.
that. I'm going to show how integrated bitter greens are into the Italian supermarket. So I
Okay.
just went yesterday to Esselunga for anybody who knows Italian supermarkets.
It's a
And
major
we have,
chain
it's a
for those who
chain,
don't.
and they have these soups that are 100% vegetable with fresh vegetables. They last for a couple days. Um, they're without preservatives or without sodium glutamate, without anything like fake. And they're just so great if you need a quick lunch and you just didn't have time to make something on the weekend. And this weekend I found lentils, pumpkin, chestnuts, and radicchio.
Yum.
I mean, it's just amazing. I felt so lucky to be able to find this little soup, which is going to be one of my lunches for the week. And I feel like in the US that would definitely be something quite like exotic and gourmet. Whereas here it's at Esselunga and it was €3, I think.
Yeah. Now, if
you
I
know?
were making like a minestrone and I wanted a bitter flavor profile, I would slice up that radicchio or any of those greens and just throw them in my minestrone.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Oh, and look, Christine has a great tip. She made gorgonzola and walnuts and radicchio for her pasta. And that's another great tip, Christine, is walnuts also are bitter. And
Well, lots of the
agrumi,
nuts
like
are,
all
yeah.
so many citrus fruits like bergamot. I have some actually in my fridge. I forgot to get them out for the show and tell. I
Yeah.
remember the quinoto, but I didn't remember the actual fruits that it comes from. They're in my fridge.
And then
Um,
another, I like to, especially when my daughter, who's now 37, when she was a little girl, to get her to eat green vegetables, I made different kinds of gnocchi. So I used to make these broccoli rabe gnocchi with a gorgonzola and sage sauce.
ooh. So did she not like bitter when she was little?
Um, yeah, kind of. She's not like the most. Her children, I think, are more adventurous
Okay.
eaters than she is in many ways. But it is true that vegetables like cauliflower and that whole family of vegetable, and I'd written a newsletter about this, that
Yeah,
um, the children's palate changes over time.
right.
So those vegetables, when you're really young, are have such a strong smell and
Yeah.
taste that changes as your palate develops.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And they also say that with kids, because that taste is not maybe so immediately used in cooking for children, although they do eat a lot of the foods that Italian parents eat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
To let them, have them try it like 11 times.
Right, right. Like to revisit it. And I mean, I've done even things like Sophia, my littlest grandchild.
Yeah,
I took her to the grocery store, and a lot of the greens she doesn't like, and I
yeah,
said, "Sophia, you're gonna pick a green vegetable to be friends with, that's gonna be like your vegetable friend." And,
that's so
she
cute.
she ended up saying, Songino salad, the little,
Sanjina. Yeah, yeah.
and
Right.
she
The
loves
little
that.
is it called lamb's ear maybe in English? I think in British English
I
it might
I
be
have
called lamb's ear.
no idea, but she picked that, she loves it with olive oil and salt, no acid, no lemon or anything, but she eats it, and she's very proud of the fact that she's got
Oh,
this green vegetable she likes
that is
now.
that's adorable, and well done you for finding a way to encourage her to eat her greens. But you made me think of something else, which
Uh,
I didn't bring over to the table because it's a giant 5-liter bottle. Can anybody else guess what foundational ingredient in Italian cooking can be very, very bitter? 5-liter bottle, comes off a tree. If Giovanna is here, I don't think Giovanna from California made it. She's from Puglia, and we have a we're in, the Como area, but we
yeah.
have a Pugliese shop that
Uh-huh.
sells all things from Puglia, which is so great. We're
Oh,
really
yeah.
lucky to have something like that that's regional all year round. And so I went, I used to get olive oil from my Italian family's trees in
Oh, you're talking about
Tuscany.
oil.
Oil, olive
Yeah.
oil before, yeah, before we got divorced. No, I don't get it anymore. And it's super sad. So I went to the Puglia store and they had two kinds of olive oil. And I like that bitter green taste that of the fresh oil. When you feel it in the back of your throat. I love that.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that I was dealing with another level here. So she said, "Do you want the forte? Do you want the strong olive oil, or do you want the regular?" I was like, "Oh, I want the forte." I'm
The
telling you,
forte
this
is
was months
forte.
ago, and she's probably still laughing because this olive oil is so bitter that even when I cook it, the bitterness, it still makes me cough. That's how strong it is. And
Yeah,
I was talking to Giovanna about it. I was like, what do I do? And she's like, put it in your garage for a year, close it
yeah,
up and just leave it. But yeah, it's a bitterness that's full of antioxidants and all good things, so I'm actually
yeah,
still trying to eat it, not on salads, but
exactly.
when I
So,
cook.
my dentist, who's Italian, and this is so classic, he also has 10,000 olive trees in Puglia.
10,000.
Yes, and his, oil
10,000 olive trees?
yeah, his are award-winning, his oil, by Gambero Rosso. So, when you go
Wow.
to the dentist, you could say, "Oh, I need 5 liters of oil." So you pay for the dentist and you buy his oil. That it's so
That's
classic.
the best thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, but his are all organic, so he really spends a lot of time
Not
down there
easy.
nurturing them because
Hmm.
Puglia is just for if you've not been there, it's just
Full of
such
olive
a
trees.
pleasure to drive through and see these old, old olive trees.
Yeah.
Spectacular. Yeah.
Hundreds of years old.
If
Hundreds.
and more. Yeah,
Yeah,
indeed.
and more. So is that where you get your olive oil? Do you get it from your dentist?
No, I get it by picking the olives from our property and pressing them.
Oh, hello. This is something I didn't know about you. Tell me more.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a huge amount, but we have enough to generate 80 liters a year,
Oh,
which is,
goodness.
plenty,
Yeah.
and yeah, so that's this year, we don't have very many, so, I may actually have to,
Happens.
go to my dentist to get some, or I don't think I've bought olive oil in a grocery store for years, really,
Yeah.
literally years. Yeah.
Until you got your property with the trees on it.
Yeah, I mean, our trees have just been getting bigger and growing and developing, so, yeah, they produce quite a bit, but you do have the occasional off year.
You do.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember that in Tuscany. But that to me is one of the most just beautiful things about living in Italy is, well, in my family, which I'm still, part of, is the emphasis on growing what you're going to eat and not just from a garden. Of course, I think that in the US also there's a culture of gardening. At least my mom grew up on a farm, and
Yeah,
so she definitely had that. But here it's, also having trees in your yard where you can pick fruit. These are my dogs. I'm sorry if you can hear them.
that's okay. I've got got 'em
Um,
too.
it's dinner time. So I think, and yeah, and olive trees to grow olive oil. It's not yeah, it's something important and part of a rich life. And
It
and I
is,
don't mean in
and
terms of money at all.
exactly, and, Rome is such a, it's not overly hot and it's not cold, so if I need I think my sage plant could be in the Guinness Book of World Records. I wish I could show it to you. It's enormous, but, I've got my sage, marjoram, which I use to make, the corsetti with the marjoram sauce,
Yeah,
um, rosemary in abundance,
right.
all these kinds of things. Now, I wanna show you a cookbook,
Okay.
and you might be familiar with it.
Let's see.
Written by a British woman, Letitia Clark,
Oh, I
and
know
it's
Letitia Clark.
Bitter Honey.
She lives in Sardinia. No?
She does, she does,
Yeah. I mean, I
and
don't know her. I
Yeah.
know she lives in Sardinia, and Sardinia is one of my favorite places on the planet. So,
It is indeed, and, so this bitter honey is made with the, corbezzolo, which is like a strawberry tree, and I've created a few recipes using that honey, and it truly has that bitter flavor profile,
now
and
that honey is said to have medicinal properties, right? The corbezzolo plant.
yeah, yeah, in fact. Yeah, I mean,
That's what
I've
I've heard.
seen them also, like, in Puglia, that plant, I picked those little
Yeah,
strawberries down in Puglia, but so she picked that title because it really kinda represents the bitter honey, the whole idea that Sardinia is, like, a little bit wild and
a little bit, a
yeah,
lot.
it is. So, yeah, there are lots of foods that we love. I mean, to think of just our coffee. Italians go
Oh,
crazy for their coffee and they're
that is the
shocked because they
perfect wrap up.
want yeah, they want
That is the
that
perfect wrap
bitter,
up.
that intensity, which I adore that.
Right, right, right. And I think that's highlighting another difference to go back to the US where Starbucks is king and Frappuccino, whereas here people are still going down to the bar and ordering their espresso black or their, espresso, even a long coffee black.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really there's a love of bitter and I just don't it's not coincidence that Italians are still eating this way because there's still the concept of not drinking a cappuccino after lunch. And it's not just to have a rule in place. It's because if you drink your coffee without milk after lunch, it will help you digest. If you drink it, a big fat cappuccino with a bunch of full fat milk in it, it's not going to help you digest. So it's genius.
It's health focused, let's say. Yeah, and my
Digestive,
honey
yeah, digestive focus.
yeah, it is. I
And
could
we're coming up on
digest
our 45 minutes too. Do you think coffee is our place to wrap up? What do you want your final parting words on bitter to be?
um, I guess the one thing I say to a lot of people who don't live here is to kind of embrace these different flavor profiles. And instead of, okay, so I have a test kitchen because I'm finishing up a cookbook. And when we made a couple of the recipes with the bitter honey, uh, the f- the reaction is it's really bitter, but to
Yeah.
kind of open your mind to embracing this different kind of a flavor
Yeah.
profile in combo the same way when I teach cooking classes and people see anchovies. I don't like anchovies. Uh, you don't even have to know it's there. You put two fillets in, I don't know, your spaghetti alle vongole sauce, or your spaghetti with clam sauce, mush them up, and it elevates uh, everything else going on. And you will say, oh God, why is your spaghetti with clam sauce better than mine? It's the little secret anchovy
Yeah.
fillets. And the same thing with bitter, I think.
I think so. I think so. Yeah, it's having an open mind. And I think that what you just mentioned is if I were to suggest to someone who thinks they don't like bitter, I would recommend trying my favorite pasta, which is the orecchiette with cimini rapa, which
Yeah,
is made in that anchovy base. You kind of melt them
yeah.
with the olive oil and the garlic in the pan. And I guess if you wanted to compare it to
Whoops. What was that?
the dogs just knocked over the light. Um, they really are hungry. I have two Lagotto Romagnolo dogs. They're the truffle hunters, and
When it's
they're
dinner
very
time,
well
it's dinner.
behaved. They're very well behaved. Anyway, I would recommend the orecchiette with chimichurri rapa and the anchovies because it's an umami flavor. It's not a fishy flavor. it's umami, like maybe close to a soy sauce. Anyway, so that would be if I were going to recommend like a gateway drug to bitterness, it would
Gateway
be
to bitter. Yes.
with the turnip greens. And I have that recipe on my site, Weeknights in Italy, if any
Yeah. Yeah. It,
wants it, or you can write me and I'll send it to you
okay.
later after I
Yeah.
pick up my light off the floor. It's not a party if something doesn't get broken. I do still believe that to some extent, even in my wise old years. So we had a party, Wendy,
And you broke something.
and I broke I think I don't know if it's broken, but the light might be broken. So we'll find out later.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just had like a shattered glass measuring cup with my Sophia, my 6-year-old granddaughter. I was holding it to put it in the dishwasher, and she came over and said, "Grandma, give me a hug." And it just flew out of my
Oh,
hand and shattered. She said, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Don't worry." Hey,
what what would you recommend that people try for if they're not comfortable with bitter and they're not familiar with it? What should they try in Italian cuisine to kind of get a
well,
flavor for it, if you will?
I would definitely agree with and I think a lot of Americans do like broccoli rabe.
Oh, I do too. Yeah,
Yeah. So
it's very popular.
that is kind of
Do
an
you think?
entry level one.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so we agree.
we do. So, if anyone has questions, send a message to Lolly or to myself, and Substack is great about sending out the recording. So if anyone's missed it, to those of you who are in California, or if you've slept in, or you're out doing your Sunday lunch somewhere and you've
Or
missed it,
or if you had a question on the little chat and we missed it because it kind of flies by. Really, we're
yes,
happy to answer your questions later because we are so in love with bitter that we
exactly.
want you to join the Bitter is Better Club too.
Exactly, exactly. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. And I have to
So
say,
fun.
true confession, Lolly and I are feeling kind of upset tummy, maybe getting a flu or something under the weather. So I
Might be
think
COVID.
this discussion about curative bitter, sort of just the thought of it made us feel a little bit better.
It
What do you
did.
think?
It did. It did. And I feel a little bit better sipping on my
Well, maybe whoops,
oh, I
should
can't
we
read.
pour some of this?
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't read the whole message. Somebody added something about umami, but I do think anchovies are umami,
Oh, it
but
says, "I feel umami is an overused word." No,
might be. I mean, it might be overused, but it is the word to definitely describe anchovies.
yeah, but it is what, that kind of fifth sense that elevates a flavor profile. It's what, it's those glutamates that are
Yeah.
actually found in breast milk, and I think a lot of people who were breastfed babies, they have this kind of, uh deep, deep memory of that umami flavor. Anyhow, yeah, it's just another wonderful way to describe things, but, um, that umami flavor that, the anchovies or whatever you wanna call hello, you, that,
Oh, he's
anchovies
so
bring.
hungry. He's so hungry. Oh,
Yeah, okay, we better let you all go, and again, send, whatever questions, comments, whatever, to either of us, and, it's been a pleasure.
yes, so fun, so fun. I love seeing you. I love all your questions. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Buon
you.
appetito and have a great evening. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.